Hello, wrestling fans. I am Mud Puppet Joel. He is Mud Puppet Ryan. We are the Mud Puppets. Here we are once again to call some wrestling action for ya.
Well, this is from the September 22nd September Spectacular show. What we have here, we have Caleb Stills and Mike Marvel going at it. The winner is going to go on to the main event of the night. They will join the Motor City Monster Eddie Venom, as well as Austin Mannix in a three-way dance for the MPW Heavyweight title.
Yep, that is all correct. Eddie Venom, of course, beat Action Jackson with an assist from his pal, Jamie Cox. And then Austin Mannix actually beat Jamie Cox when Eddie Venom attempted to repay the favor, which, as we've seen in the previous week's matches, caused a little bit of tension between the two.
And here in the early going, I think we're seeing what might be the story of this match. Caleb Stills is a veteran. He knows his way around the ring. Mike Marvel's extremely talented, but he's also very young, and he's still learning the craft.
No doubt about that. Marvel has shown in the past incredible heart, incredible resiliency. We will see what transpires between these two.
Caleb Stills is working that arm, and that's smart. Quick cover there by Marvel. Couldn't get him. Stills is working that arm. That's smart because we've seen he likes to go to that crossface. He likes to go to that regal stretch type maneuver, and if he can get that on, that could be the very end of the match for Mike Marvel.
Be here as they lock up once more, and I'd say Marvel certainly with the speed advantage, but obviously experience, and I'd say even the power advantage goes to Caleb Stills.
Yeah, Stills isn't a whole lot bigger than Marvel, but I would agree with you. He probably does have the power advantage, and you're seeing that here with these holds. He's really locking him in. He's really wrenching that neck. He's going to make Mike Marvel fight out of every single thing he puts it in.
Well, and not only that, but we've seen in the past, Caleb Stills, he can have a mean streak in him. He can go to that crazy place if he needs to. Have not seen that from Mike Marvel.
We haven't, but this is the kind of match that could certainly bring it out, because when you consider what's at stake, it's a shot at the heavyweight title, a chance to go to that main event and perhaps be the MPW heavyweight champion. What a feather in the cap for this young man it would be.
Oh, certainly. Only been wrestling a little more than a year now. It'd be quite an accomplishment. And right now he's going toe-to-toe with one of the best on the Michigan indie scene.
Some good action here so far. The only thing I don't like is all this sportsmanship. What's with all this scientific wrestling? Punch each other.
And nothing wrong with a little bit of sportsmanship in a wrestling match. We don't see it too often anymore these days.
I will say, after all the outside interference we saw in the other two matches and all the sort of dirty tactics, it is a little refreshing to see some good, clean wrestling here.
You see Gutter going for it early. Once again, Marvel smartly gets to that bottom rope.
Mike Marvel was very, very fortunate he was close to the ropes there, because if Gutter locks that move in, Caleb Stills locks that move in, I don't think Mike Marvel's going to get out of it.
Oh, yeah, and just to clarify any confusion, you may often hear it's called Caleb Stills Gutter. It was an alter ego he wrestled in for a long time, and Caleb has said himself he doesn't mind fans still refer to him as Gutter. It was a large part of his wrestling career, but taking a different track now with his birth name, Caleb Stills.
And he's gone to more of a focus on technical wrestling, and I gotta say, I think it's been a good move, because I think he's been even better as Caleb Stills.
Nice elbow drop there. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I do think it is really given him a laser-like focus, reinventing himself in this fashion. He's getting the better of Marvel here right now, too. Kick to the leg there. And that's what you got to do to a guy like Mike Marvel. Ground him, because his aerial assault can be devastating.
Yeah, he definitely does not want Mike Marvel to start going to the top rope and hitting him with those high-risk maneuvers, because one of those, and you can get a flash pin out of nowhere.
Right, well, that's the advantage of it. High risk, high reward. We've seen him have success against a man the size of Movado with those type of maneuvers.
You're definitely right. And a huge chop there in the corner. We've seen Mike Marvel battle Movado several times, and quick cover here, only a 2. And to Mike Marvel's credit, he didn't always win, but he always survived, and just surviving against Movado, it says something for this guy's heart.
Punch there by Caleb Stills puts Marvel into the corner, readying him for a whip into the opposite corner there, and took that one in his back, and gets out of the way, though. Stills came in with the elbow. Yeah, Marvel and Movado had, they wrestled each other all over Michigan, and like you said, Marvel always survived. Not only survived, kept coming back for more. where this kid's heart is well chronicled.
Well, it speaks to his passion for this business. I mean, most guys, they had a match with Movado, they're not coming back. That's the last you see of them. But Mike Marvel came back, he kept on fighting, and look at the opportunity he has here. He could be the Metro Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion at the end of the night. What a huge honor.
Well, he's got a tall task in front of him before he can even get to that triple threat match. A nice drop kick there. But again, holding his own, using his speed to his advantage.
You may notice those red welts on his chest, on Mike Marvel's chest. That is from those chops that Caleb Stills delivered. Shows you the price these men pay. A cover here, only a 2. The price these men pay when they step into the ring. They give their bodies, they sacrifice their health in order to get that big prize of the MPW title.
Well, one thing I like about Mike Marvel, I think it's something he's developed in the last year, is he wrestles a gentleman's match. You mentioned earlier the sportsmanship, but he can go blow for blow. You mentioned the red welts on his chest. He gave those right back to Caleb Stills when he had an opening.
Absolutely did. Stills hits a big suplex, gets a 2 count out of it. Mike Marvel, you can see him holding his neck there, and again, we know Caleb Stills likes to finish with a crossface, with a regal stretch type maneuver. He's going to go for another suplex here, and devastating.
Right there. Yeah, like we said, the transition from Gutter to Caleb Stills, it had a cerebral effect, a very exacting effect on Caleb Stills' in-match game. You can see it. He attacks the shoulders. He attacks the neck. Those key areas that are going to put strain on his opponent when he finally locks in that finisher.
He's going to try another suplex here. Mike Marvel blocks it, and Marvel reverses into a cover. Only a 2. Oh!
And look at it, right there. You talk about being quick. Caleb Stills no slouch either. That submission came out of nowhere. Now Marvel gets to the rope, but that's something you've got to be mindful of when you're in a match with a guy like this. They can turn a reversal so quickly. I mean, that went from a pin to suddenly you're in trouble.
That came out of absolutely nowhere. And what I've been impressed so far here by Caleb Stills, he has a game plan, and he's sticking to it. The neck, the arm, going for that submission whenever he can get it in there. I think he might have the real advantage here over Mike Marvel if he sticks to this game plan.
Again, we're seeing it here just moments ago. He drove a knee in the back of the shoulder blade. Now, a couple of elbows into that shoulder area. That one into the chest, neck area. He is really working it right here. Pin there. Marvel once again kicks out.
You can see the fatigue starting to take effect on Mike Marvel here, though. He is starting to slow down a bit, and that's bad for a guy who relies on his speed to win matches.
No doubt, fatigue eventually sets in for everybody. You can only be beaten up so long before your legs give out or your will breaks. And that is the path I think Caleb Stills has Mike Marvel on right now. But Marvel, again, fighting out, throwing some punches, throwing some elbows. Now hitting the ropes. Oh. Kick right to the gut. Oh, vicious elbow to the side of the face. And that could be it here, as Caleb Stills has locked in his finisher here. Marvel seems to acting as a stimulus on him right now, though he does get to the ropes. Maybe just a little too close to the ropes there, Brian?
Yeah, I believe so. Mike Marvel, it was almost like a trapped animal gnawing its foot off to get out of that hold. He fought and struggled so desperately when that hole's in. That's just the sign of a smart wrestler. He knows he can't stay in that hold for long, and he got out as quick as he could.
Yeah, you've got to have that sense of desperation, that immediacy when a guy slaps you in a hold like that.
And also the sense of just where you are in the ring. That shows the experience Mike Marvel's starting to pick up. Just knowing that how close you are to the ropes and what you have to do to get there.
You know, you gotta wonder that this is a kind of a war of attrition that's developing. How long can Marvel sustain this beating? Caleb Stills is relentless. He has got a laser-like focus right now on those key areas, and he just keeps attacking them.
Caleb Stills knows that the title shot is within his grasp. He's got it. Oh, Marvel up and over. And Marvel striking back with some big forearms.
Oh, a beautiful one there that puts Caleb Stills on the mat. Marvel with the cover now, and he'll get a 2 count and no more.
The point of that elbow was right on. It nailed Caleb Stills right in the point of his jaw. And that's the kind of thing that can knock a guy out. Oh, and a big jaw buster from Mike Marvel.
Well, he's pulling out all the tricks now. Anything he can to keep Caleb Stills off of it. I mean, Stills has been all over in this match. Even when Marvel, a nice splash, running splash there, when he is, into a bulldog, nicely executed. When we have seen Marvel mount an offensive attack, Caleb Stills has always come right back at him. Marvel can't get a break. He can't take a breath.
And that's the thing, is looping a few of these offensive moves in here together. It's allowing Mike Marvel not only to get some punishment on his opponent, but also to catch his breath, to get a little rest. Oh, and he catches him with a big boot. He's going to the top, Joel.
Defending himself there. Well, this is where he is the most dangerous, in my opinion. He hits it, though. Kick out by Stills, though. The two struggle to their feet. Gutter blocker. Caleb Stills blocking that one. Catches his foot there and takes an enziguri right to the head. And again, it's just when a guy is this quick, you can beat him up and beat him up. Sort of a modified stunner there. But man, they can bust out with these moves off the top rope or a quick kick to the head so fast. It's hard to game plan for something like that.
It is. It's hard because Mike Marvel is always thinking a few steps ahead because he has that speed and the ability to do so. And he's maybe going for a Boston Crab here?
Yeah, but they're going to get tangled up in the ropes since he's too close there. And Stills kicks him off into the turnbuckle there, and looks like he's going to regain control of this matchup. Yes. Swung off there, counter, into a cold breaker, and he now Stills on the mat, and Marvel with the pin. Again, cannot keep Stills down, and at this point, these two have been going at it nearly for 12 minutes. You got to start to wonder. And they were the third match of the tournament matches on the bill. These guys, whoever comes out of this match is going to have survived a car wreck. They're going to be a lot more fatigued than Eddie Venom or Austin Maddox in that triple threat match.
That's an excellent point to bring up. Mike Marvel off the rope.
Tripped up.
Gets tripped up, and Caleb's going to go for his finish? No.
Picks him up. Thought it looked like he was thinking about it. Oh, what a slam there. That may do it right there. Maybe let's get him with the pin. 2 count, kicked out, and then Marvel showing that resilience once more. But again, back to the point, Ryan. What do you think the odds are? He's going to get him in it once again.
Oh, he's center ring. This is trouble.
This one is not going to be easy to worm out of here. Marvel's fighting all of his heart to get there. I just don't know if he's got enough life. He's still really rearing back now. He has got it locked in.
Come on, kid. You're almost there. He made it to the ropes.
Unbelievable.
What a matchup.
What heart he is showing. And this is where, this is running on adrenaline. And they're in there. They can't be thinking about the stuff we're talking about, how they're going to have to face 2 fresh opponents at the end of the night.
No, absolutely not. They're both going to have to give it their absolute all here. And he's going to go for another suplex. Mike Marvel elbowing out. And if they do make it to that main event, Joel, I have to agree, these guys, they might not have much left in the tank. Another enziguri there. And he caught Caleb Stills full with that one.
Both struggling to their feet. Out of exhaustion. With a kick to the gut there. Oh, he took a knee right to the spine. No defense against a knee to the spine. That always hurts. He puts Marvel on the mat one more time, and he has locked in that cross-face submission maneuver once again. And this time, I don't think Marvel has any option than puts a tap, and no shame in having the tap there. He fought out of it so many times, but in the end, I think he really was just outmatched by a more experienced opponent.
The damage was done in the previous time that Caleb Stills got that submission on. You saw how long he had it in. I got to take my hats off to both these guys. They put on a hell of a match. The crowd very appreciative.
That's a good point there, that perhaps this match was one for Caleb Stills on the previous submission hold.
Caleb Stills wins. He goes to the main event here with Eddie Venom and Austin Maddox for a shot for the chance to be the MPW heavyweight champion. But you know what? I got to give it up for Mike Marvel. That kid showed us a lot here tonight.
Great match. Well, folks, we will be back. Next week, you see the show of respect there. Very nice. We'll be back next week with the triple threat match to crown the new MPW heavyweight champion. It's either going to be the man right there, Caleb Stills, the Motor City Monster, Eddie Venom, or the newcomer, the wild card, Austin Mannix. We will see you then. Once again, we are the Mud Puppets. You can check us out at mudpuppets.com. Thank you. See you next time.